Hey, everybody. Welcome to day 7. Oh my God. I've made it through 7 days of going live every single day. I'm so proud of myself. That's amazing. Being hair and makeup ready. As I was about to say that, I was like, oh, I didn't do my hair today. I washed it and whatever. I'm showing up. I'm doing the do. Even when it's not comfortable, even when we have last minute guest cancellations and stuff, I'm showing up for myself every day. I'm super proud of myself. And you guys are showing up as well. And I'm really proud of you guys as well. So again, welcome to the 14-day artist journey. Sorry if this gets repetitive, but I want to go over it every day just in case we have new people coming in who are not sure. So currently we are on day 7 of the 14-day artist journey. And the purpose of this journey is to kind of humanize the process that we go through as artists. In current culture, I think in like the landscape we live in right now with social media and all that stuff, everybody shows up so perfect. And I think that it gets lost in translation that everybody goes through journeys. Also in the culture now, we're taught like, you should pick up a camera and have a kit lens and buy a guide and have 10 poses and mark it this way. And you're going to make 6 figures in 6 months. And if you don't, you're a failure. And again, I call massive bullshit on that. It might work that way for some people, but we're not all built the same. It doesn't work that way for everyone. Some of us are doing more than 6 figures. Some of us have a part-time job and we do this on the side. Some of us have a full-time job and we do this on the side. Some of us are doing it full-time and doing great. Like there's so many different ways to do it and none of them are right or wrong. And so kind of want to change the way that we talk about being artists, externally, but also internally for ourselves. Because I think a lot of the stuff that's talked about is really toxic and it's not conducive to our growth. It's not conducive to our mental health. And I don't think it's conducive to creating beautiful art. So we're trying to demystify that journey. So if you haven't done this already, you should go to the 14-day photo artist journey. If we could drop a link in there, that would be awesome. Team, thank you. You can download the book, the book that I created for this 14-day artist journey, and it's a journal as well as a book that's going to help you walk through all of the phases of this journey. And from teaching hundreds of students, I've kind of like dismantled like the journey that they go on every time they go through this growth journey and this path. And it consists of 4 different phases. And so I want to share them with you guys because I want you guys all to be able to go on this journey. It's an amazing one. And the first one is self-awareness. And that's where we stop and we reflect and we take stock of the things that we're good at first. That's the first place we want to start, the things that we're really good at. And then we want to be proud of ourselves for those things and commend ourselves for those things, say nice things to ourselves about those things. And then we want to look where we have challenges, maybe gaps in our skill sets. I have them for sure. And I am always wanting to better them. So perhaps gaps in our skill sets that make us feel inadequate and like switching that narrative in our head about being inadequate and turning it around and just being, well, this is an area where I can grow and learn and not making a negative thing, but embracing it and making it a positive thing, a place where we can become better. And then we want to look at obstacles that we're facing, whether they're perceived or whether they're real. Kind of ascertain those things, because if we don't have a baseline of self-awareness, can't move forward. We can't really go anywhere unless we know what's on the inside. We can't start affecting change on the outside. So I know, broken record here. I don't even care. I don't care. I'll say it every single day for the rest of my life. This is so incredibly important. I know from watching so many students go through this journey how integral it is to flourishing, and not just in your business or in your art, but just in life in general. So kind of working on reprogramming our brains so that we're working more holistically and organically, and it becomes this beautiful, ecosystem of ways that we're growing. So that's phase 1. Phase 2 is learning about vulnerability and understanding it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing, and being able to lean into it and making an agreement with ourselves that we're going to go ahead and do that. And you guys, I'm super proud of you because you guys are doing that right now, showing up every day for the 14-day artist journey. I've asked you guys some really personal things on these calls, and you guys have shown up for this community that we're building and for yourselves. And you've been brave and bold and honest and vulnerable, and you've shared those things. So we're making that agreement to be vulnerable with ourselves. And then the next phase, the third phase, which these three things are kind of a continuum. The third phase is building mental fortitude through being brave. And that means going out and doing the things that make you a little bit uncomfortable. Like for me, going live every single day. Little uncomfortable, leaning into it. Coming on by myself when my guest had an emergency. Whew, I had a panic attack through that entire day. Well, that entire time I was on with you guys. Well, prior to it. And then while I was with you, a little bit after too. That was something else. But I did it. And now I have this, I can pull on that and remember, even though it was incredibly challenging and I wasn't sure I was going to get through it, I did it. And if I can do that, I can do the next thing that I'm afraid of doing as well. So being bold and brave and doing brilliant, amazing things in the world doesn't mean showing up in the absence of fear or discomfort. It actually means showing up in spite of those things. And so with our project, we're going to be working on that. We should be working on that in our journals as well. If you haven't downloaded the journal, please do so. It's really, really helpful. So this is a continuum that happens all the time. And again, it's like reprogramming our brains. I go through this phase all the time, or this cycle all the time, pretty much every single day, sometimes several times a day. Things are constantly coming up where you have to be aware, you have to be vulnerable, and then you have to do something that you're not real comfortable with. And the more that you do it, the more mental fortitude that you build to go out there and truly grow and lean into the places where it's a little uncomfortable or you're a little afraid. Because when you start building these wins, you start building this foundation of I can do this. I got this, right? And the more of those wins you have, the stronger your foundation is. And the more you're aware of the entire process, well, you just start building really solid foundations. And so that's what we're here for, building a super solid, awesome foundation that we can move forward and grow with. So we're also here for the growth. That's really important as well. So that's what we are doing. I know it sounds redundant, but again, I don't care because it's that important. So couple of things I want to talk to you guys about before I bring in our awesome guest who I'm super, super duper excited about. Today on this call, someone is going to win a 32 by 48 canvas wrap from ProPrints because they are an amazing supporter of artists. I love them. They have been so good to all of us by doing this. And everyone who signs up for the photo artist journey, you're going to get a 20 by 30 print. But today, someone who's in the Facebook, who's talking and interacting with us, is going to get a 32 by 48. This is so rad. I'm so excited about that. Go get your journal. I already told you that. We have amazing brand supporters who are working with us, and we're sending out emails every day that have the codes. The Stella Pro Kits lights are on sale. You should go check them out. I bought myself some, and you guys know how I feel about artificial lighting. I liked them that much. We have backdrops by Jeremy Ellsworth. He's got a 10% discount. We have the Art of Emotion Strip Down Spring, which is coming up. We're starting on May 1st. If you guys want to solve the posing problem forever and get more connection and beauty in your work, you need to sign up for this class. I'm telling you, it's going to change your life in more ways than you can ever imagine. We're giving everyone an $800 discount who's part of the photo artist journey. If we could drop a link to that, that would be awesome, team. AIBP is giving all of us 10% off a year's membership. We'll be giving you guys those links. Homespun Heart is also giving us a membership, and so is Tailored Body Jewelry. And with that, I would actually like to bring on Miss Megan McCaskill of Tailored Body Jewelry. She's going to be joining me today. I'm super excited. I'm going to bring her in now. You guys ready? Like, let's give her a big round of applause in there. Yeah, I'm so excited she's here. You guys are all keeping her super busy with all the orders you're placing, which is awesome. So there you are. Hello, love.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am over the moon that you're here. I'm super excited. I got to shoot one of your pieces. It was the same piece. I got to shoot it two different people owned it, but same. It's the first time I ever got to shoot that piece, and oh my God, it was beautiful. And I loved the images that I was able to create with my clients who brought those pieces in with them. They're obviously professional photographers. That's why they had your product. But beautiful. You create such amazing, gorgeous work. I'm just like in awe of your artisan and craft skills and the beautiful products that you're creating. So I'm kind of like fangirling at the moment. I'm going to try and pull back a teeny bit on that. And I'm going to let you introduce yourself to the audience in case anyone here doesn't know you, which I doubt, but just in case, why don't you go and tell them a little bit about you and your products, and then we'll move on and have a conversation about not the fun stuff. That's not what these interviews about. I'm going to get down and dirty with you, girl. I'm going to ask you the tough questions because I want people to understand it's a journey. And I think so many people look at you and think like, wow, she's so accomplished and she's amazing and she's doing all these brilliant things, but they don't know the struggles that you've had. And I think when we can share that, people can grow and flourish from those experiences. So take it away, young lady. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. So I'm Megan. I'm from New Jersey. I started my creative journey probably when I was 18 doing wedding photography. A few years after that, I started Boudoir. And Boudoir has actually led me to where I am today with the body jewelry business. I was always looking for, I feel like body jewelry sort of became more popular within the last couple of years with boudoir photographers. And 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, I was looking for something that would fit over a size extra large. I'm a 2X. I was looking for sizes to fit me and above my size. And I couldn't find anything. I looked probably everywhere. And I just wanted simple, and I couldn't find it. So I kind of thought in my head, well, I've made jewelry before, like, arts and crafts when they're like 10. So I figured, like, how hard could it be? I can figure it out again. And I am a pretty creative person and crafty. So I just kind of ordered some basics and went from there. And, and here we are.
I love that. You're like, it's not out there. I'll fucking make it myself.
I'm like, I make it for myself if I need. I don't care. And it kind of, it took off.
Yeah, it did. So many of my students are like rabid fans of your products, and just so many people within the community. Everybody loves your work. So you're doing amazing. So how did the full transition happen? And that must have been a little bit scary, going from being a wedding photographer and a boudoir photographer to, I need this product and I can't find it anywhere. And I feel that pain. Like, I went through that too. I go through that with so many products. It's not even fun. Most products on the market, I'm like, but I'm never going to find something like that that's going to fit me.
Mm-hmm. And it happens. I've gained a lot of weight over the past couple of years. During quarantine, it started, and it just made me open my eyes even more and more to things that aren't accessible. We just can't get, and stores that claim they're inclusive but only go up to a 3X, and it's not even really a 3X. I think it's something we're gonna have to deal with for quite a while, but it is getting a lot better.
It is getting better, but yeah, it is a problem. So when you were going through that transition phase, you made your first piece, you made it for yourself.
Yeah.
What made you decide, like, I'm going to make this and make it accessible for other people? Like, how did we get from like A to Z there? That's a big jump.
Yeah. So, actually, Tina Mirlu of Mirlu Intimates, she's in Jersey as well. I made a body chain. I kind of showed her it, and she was like, "Oh, I need that. Like, you should start like a group or something." And I was like, "Yeah, maybe. I don't know like how it'll go, how well it'll go." I said, but I'll try it. Like, it's fine. I'll try and sell things. Maybe just like, I remember I first made one that just said goddess on it for her. And it was like probably like a 3-4X or something. And she like raved about it. And she's like, you need to start a group. You need to like make this accessible for people. So I did. And it just slowly started gaining traction. And I was coming up with more ideas and just playing with things that I had, that I ordered, that I thought would look good. And just kind of started piecing things together. And then the Time for Tea was created. And that is really what kind of set off everything. From there, I've been pretty busy. And that happened last October. So like almost 2 years.
Okay. So at any point in this journey, were you like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I'm neglecting my photography business. I'm doing this thing that I'm not sure is going to work. Like, how did you juggle those two things? Because again, it's a big leap, and you got a revenue stream over here that you know is solid. And then this other revenue stream that you're not sure what's going to happen. So how did you bridge that gap, like mentally? Or did you play a part in it because we weren't able to shoot as many people? So you were
kind of, and I had just moved from like 30 minutes south. So now I was in a house, and I made one of the guest rooms a boudoir room that I would shoot in, because before that I didn't have a studio. So it was really, I was already in the midst of moving, and then I have ADD. So when I'm, as a lot of us do, right? So when I start putting attention on something, like 100% of my attention goes there, and I just hyper focus. So I started kind of not giving my boudoir business the attention it deserved, because I was so engulfed in this new fun thing. That was a really good creative outlet that I could kind of do trial and error and kind of create as I went. And it's a different kind of creating than photography, because clients expect certain things from a boudoir photographer. And unless you're running a model call, it's harder to experiment. But with body jewelry, it became very easy to experiment. And I kind of just transitioned. I stopped advertising boudoir. I still have my website. I still respond to inquiries, but I don't advertise it at all. And I kind of just went full in the body jewelry business. And from there, it's just, I kind of haven't looked back. I've put my all into it. And even my fiance knows, like, I'll go from thing to thing and just be like hyper focused on it. And he tells me all the time, he's like, no, I think you like found your, I think you actually like joy of it. And it's not just like, you know, a month-long thing. It's become something steady and that I've put my all on, and that I'm continuing to grow. But so often it's like us ADD creative kind of will go month to month, different obsessions kind of. So this one I stuck with, and it just really, you know, I'm an introvert, very introverted. I don't have many friends, and I like it that way. And I love that I can do it in the comfort of my home. I can pack things up. It's just become really nice, and a really nice kind of comforting hub for me.
Yeah. So yeah,
but a hard.
As you were talking about that, you know, we go from like the pressure of creating for clients, right? That's when we're commissioned, there's a lot of pressure there. And we are creatives. Like, that's why we do what we do, right? We want to create, we're artists. And there can be a lot of pressure when it's being commissioned. And I often talk about personal projects, like shooting personal projects. But yeah, I know myself personally, like, I've been talking about wanting to go back to college and take a poetry class. Like, I've been talking about that for a couple years now. And there is time for it. I just don't prioritize it, you know. Well, maybe there's not quite time for it, but man, I could probably take it online. There's some way that I can make this work. I'm certain.
Absolutely.
And so I wonder if, like, I'm constantly like, go shoot a creative project, go shoot a creative project. I wonder if it's not a bad idea for us creatives to find another outlet sometimes for that creativity other than just photography. I don't know why, like, I had not had that thought before, but having this conversation with you, thank you, gave me that epiphany. Recently, I was with my best girlfriend at her house, and she turned her 3-car garage into an art studio. She is a full-time she owns the largest independently owned commercial real estate company here in Northern California. She kind of like dominates Silicon Valley. So
That's amazing.
high-powered mover shaker kind of chick, right?
Yeah.
And I need an outlet. So she just turned her entire studio, her garage, into an art studio. So I went and spent the weekend, and all she does on her free time now is paint. So I went and spent the weekend literally like throwing paint at canvases like I'm Jackson Pollock or some shit like that.
Amazing.
I had so much fun. Like it was so awesome. It was so good. So, you know, guys, I'm constantly talking to you about going out and doing creative shoots just for yourself and still do those, but maybe find another creative outlet like Megan did. That's brilliant. And find another thing where there's not the pressure and you just get to create and like flex those muscles and try and do new and different things. That's a brilliant idea. I'm curious in the comments. Now I'm curious. I wonder how many photographers have other creative outlets outside of photography. You guys, can you let me know in the comments? Let me know if you do, and if you do, what it is, because that's really interesting. Someone said that they have a jewelry shop on Etsy, so that's awesome. They make jewelry.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I want a little side creativity. Kelly says I paint.
Painting, I think, is very popular.
Yeah, Sonia says she's looking through your pieces and they're incredibly beautiful. We knew that. Video content.
Content is a big one in this. And that is a very good idea because it can still be a creative outlet, but you can still make revenue off of it.
Yeah.
It can still be an income stream and it's fun. And you can do it, you know, watching TV. Like it's something that simple.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like there are people out there who like have stuff. Katie's into cosplay. That's awesome.
That's fun.
Yeah. Okay, so we all need to get like another creative thing flowing so we can just keep flexing those muscles all the way around. Like the more we do it, the more we grow. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for that epiphany. Like I have been getting something like magnificent and beautiful out of every single interview I've done, and you just delivered as well. That's awesome.
I feel like photography becomes our personality. It's great, but it doesn't necessarily need to be 100% of it. If photography fulfills you 100%, great. Like that's great. Do personal projects. But if it doesn't, maybe look elsewhere and maybe toy with the idea of doing something else. I know painting is a big one.
Yeah. Painting. What else can we come up with? Painting. Oh my God. Collaging. You know what? Encaustic paintings. Have you seen encaustic paintings on top of portraits? Oh my God. So like you can print images and then do an encaustic painting over it. I have been wanting to do that for years. Yeah. Sonia, the other day I had said something about that. Sonia was like, I want to do that too. Sonia, you and I need to have an encaustic painting party. There could be, I mean, writing, poetry, content creating, video creation, jewelry making. There's so many things that we can do. Makeup, all of it sounds like wonderful. I want to just go play with all of it, like all of it. Even style for me, that's like an art. Like I love styling things so very much. And it's a huge, massive creative outlet for me. Like I enjoy it. Like it's such an art form. It's ridiculous. Watching documentaries is another art form. There's an art to that.
Oh, I love documentaries. I do want to say to Katie, Sterling, just some comments. Was it hard to run multiple businesses? It was because of my hyper focusing, but that's I just transitioned fully. Photography wasn't fulfilling me 100%, to be honest, anyway. So that's why it is hard for me to focus on more than one business at a time, because I just give my all to one business. But there are a ton of options. You can create social media manager, someone to run the back end of your boudoir business, or a second creative business. There are a lot of things where that can make it easier. So that definitely is, that was a good question, run multiple. I kind of, I still give my clients my all, but I definitely backed away from photography.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now I want to talk to you about the tough stuff. We talked about how awesome you are, and you are awesome, and you're doing amazing things for the community. Thank you so much for your service and the beautiful products that you're creating for us and all of our clients, and letting everybody feel included in that. Like, what you're doing is so important, and I'm very grateful for it. And I admire the pieces immensely, and the craftsmanship that goes into them. They're just gorgeous. And I really admire your chutzpah is at just jumping into it and doing it, right? Like going from the one to the other, like that's really brave, and that's to be commended as well. So that's awesome. So now here you are, this awesome success story, right? So now we've put you on this pedestal, and everybody thinks, well, it was pretty easy peasy for her. You know, she got this done, and awesome. So let's talk about a time where it wasn't easy peasy. Let's talk about, you know, a mistake that you made, or someplace where you were just like, oh God, I want to quit. And so I'm going to preface this with saying, I've already had this conversation with Megan. We talked about this when I asked her to come on. And so we're going to kind of talk through this journey, and I'm going to preface this conversation with saying, this community, I love this community. I love you guys. You are kind, and you are empathetic, and you are open-hearted, and you're very understanding that none of us are perfect. I am so not perfect. It's not even funny. And, you know, I kind of keep it a rule in my group that the first person who has made 0 mistakes can make negative comments. And so there are no negative comments in my group, because there's not a single person in my group who has never made a mistake. And we're going to keep it that way. So we are going to be very open-hearted and kind and empathetic. We are going to probably relate immensely, but nobody talks about this shit. And Megan is being really brave, and we're going to talk about it together. So let's talk about a time where you made a mistake and you grew from it. And I'm going to go ahead and let you kind of get this rolling, and then we'll just kind of discuss it and how this kind of stuff happens and how we recover from it.
Perfect. Yeah. So I did see a comment. We lost the feed. Are you back? Is anyone having trouble with the feed? I know you're kind of lagging a little bit, Denise, but I think you picked up now. I think you're good.
Okay. Well, I wonder if I need to go through. Okay. Well, so, hold on 1 second. Erica Caruso, did you see like my intro into this, or do I need to do it again? You guys let me know before I go any further. I'm just going to do it again. Megan. This is what being live is. Shit happens, and then you just do it again. And people lost it. Okay, so Megan and I have had this conversation already. We talked about, you know, what we were going to discuss. One of the things where she kind of fell down and made a mistake. And I love this community because this community is so kind and empathetic, and you guys are so supportive of each other. And there are no witch hunts that happen in my group, because we have a really firm rule. The first person who's perfect can start talking shit. Well, there isn't anyone who's perfect, so there is no shit to be talked in my group. It's just not allowed. Yeah, we all make mistakes, and we all learn and grow from them, hopefully. Megan definitely did. So we're going to have a conversation, and we're all going to be kind and empathetic, and we're going to be really grateful that Megan is sharing. And I think a lot of you are really going to relate to this. I know that I do personally. And I want to thank you, Megan, for being so, you know, open and vulnerable with us and talking about something that, you know, not directly, but so many indirectly ways happens in our industry. And it's a really negative, funky thing that I am so against. the backlash kind of stuff. So let's jump in. I'm going to let you get started, and then we'll start having conversation about it.
So yeah, I want to preface this. I'm not proud of it. I'm not happy about it. I don't condone what I did. But with that being said, maybe about 3 years ago it was when I like just relocated. And I purchased a guide. I'm not going to name the educator. I purchased a guide. I split a guide with someone. Like I said, I'm not condoning it. I was in a desperate place, and desperate people do desperate things. That is the excuse I have. It's nothing more than that. It wasn't okay. I understand it's stealing. I have since bought the guide because that was my mission along. But with that being said, so anyway, this was 3 years ago. A year after that, I had an opportunity to teach a class for an education group, I'll say, because most of them are. And they were made aware that happened. The guide split heard, and they let me know that they couldn't proceed with me because I guess the person that knew about the guide splitting said, I won't back them if I was involved with them in any way. So that was probably the biggest thing that I've kind of gone through where I wanted to quit. I thought my life, like I took it so hard. Probably because it was like it happened a year prior. I was on this really high of getting a ton of orders for the Monroe, the Time for Tea. And I was just it was really like a high for me. And when this happened, I remember it was like the beginning of December, I think. And I got the message, and I remember just like sobbing, voice memoing this woman, like, can I have a second chance? Like, can you at least give me a chance? And they said, no, it's not happening. Okay. I really thought my life was over. I will say I wasn't one of those people that went to Reddit or went to these private sites to pirate everything this person put out. That wasn't my intention. I did something that I thought would benefit me, and that I could make up for it. So it kind of just went like, took everything out of me. I was on vacation when I got the message. It spiraled me into this. I was depressed. I was just sobbing. I was blacklisted. I was kicked out from a lot of groups. And I learned my lesson, obviously. I had learned the lesson prior to this even happening with the class. And I feel like most of this community had been, and I'm very open about this. I have talked about this before. I think a month or two ago, I put out a Facebook post. I shared it to my group, and I take accountability, and I know it's wrong. But I think so much in this community, we don't give others the chance to make things right. We don't give others chance to grow. We kind of cut them off. And I've told people straight up when everything happened, I reached out to some educators or people that I was supplying jewelry for, and I said, I understand if you don't want to be affiliated. This I did. I want to hear it from me. And I made peace with that. Most of the people, like, thank you for letting me know. We're good. Like, I appreciate it coming from you. But we just don't give people a chance to grow. And it's very much a cancel culture, I feel like, in the boudoir community. And there's room for all of us, right? There's room for us years later to reconnect. Maybe say we were both wrong in how we acted. But it's just not there yet in this community. So I think that was definitely the one part in my journey that I thought like I was at a very low. I thought my business was over. I was going to stop making it. I was going to just cancel everything, delete everything, because I really thought without this certain group that I wasn't going to get anywhere. I didn't allow myself to be more open with other educators because I thought everyone was talking behind my back. I was paranoid. Anyone that I met at last year's WPPI, I was so paranoid. I constantly thought they were talking about me. They were talking about me like everyone knew, but it was such like a secret thing. And I really let it get me. And since I'm just open. If you want to talk about me, go ahead. But I already know what I did, and I'm already open about it. So if anything, I wanted to take back that ownership of you can't have this hanging over my head. I already talk about it. I'm open about it. And my lesson, and I grow, and I think that's something we really need to start giving people a little bit more grace. There are obviously instances where it's different, where if it repeatedly happens or something, someone isn't sorry. But I think we need to give people a chance to grow and learn and move on and better themselves and not just try and completely cut them off and blacklist them. Like I got kicked out of groups that I didn't do anything. Like these people, I didn't do anything to these people, but because they were affiliated with this one person, I was done. I was done in that group.
So there's a famous quote by this amazing woman named Carla Birdsong, who might have been my mother, that is never waste a good mistake. That was my mom's favorite thing to say to me because I have made a lot of mistakes in my life.
We all do.
Right. And I would get very down on myself. And my mom's mantra was like, don't waste it, Niecy. Like, don't ever waste a good mistake. You have to learn from it. And I think one of the most important things that you did in this situation was take radical responsibility. And when we do that, that's actually part of this journey that we're talking about, right? That's the self-awareness. Yeah. That's you know what? I shouldn't have done that. Or I could have done this a different way. Or this wasn't right. I need to look at my part in it. I need to own my part in it. And I need to grow from it. And I think if we're coming from that mindset, we're always showing up as our best selves, but we're also showing up the best for other people as well. So I'm gonna hop in on this topic really quick because this is a topic. And I happen to be an educator who sells products. Do I want people splitting my course? No. Am I going to be unhappy if somebody does this? Yes, because I work very hard to create them. And it's my business, just like, everybody else has their business. Do I know that this stuff happens in the industry? Does every single educator who creates things know that this is going to happen? You know what? I'm going to take it one step further. No one ever used the term emotive photography. We don't even know it's a problem. And all of a sudden, these big educators are now hopping on this. Denise created this and has momentum, and they're kind of, in a sense, stealing it, right? They're going with it. They're not teaching the same products, but, and some people might say, oh, come on, Denise, you can't coin that whole thing. Well, guys, I'm going to say I can because I'm the first person who came to market with it. And those are my feelings about it, right? But I'm not going to.
And those feelings are good. They're valid feelings.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be angry with the other people out there who are doing it. That's their lives. They got to do what they got to do. So as education or as educators, we know the content that we create, are other people going to make it? Potentially they are. I work real hard to make sure it doesn't happen. I make people sign NDAs and stuff like that because I'm very protective of it. But is there a possibility it's going to happen? Yeah, we got Sue Bryce out there teaching emotive posing and, other photographers doing this as well. Do I know that if I create a digital download that it's probably going to get shared? I do. Do I like that? I don't, but I also know it's going to happen. Am I personally going to destroy somebody's life because of it? I can't, because I'm not perfect either. I have made mistakes myself. Like, I cannot do that. There was a recent another big hubbubaloo about products being downloaded, and I didn't even know it was happening because I don't pay attention to socials, Megan. I'm like the
Right.
ostrich over there with my head in the sand. But I got a direct message from one of my students saying, Denise, I did this terrible thing. I purchased this from somewhere I should not have. I have been kicked out of every single group. Nasty things are being left on my Google reviews. I'm getting bad Yelp reviews. My life is being destroyed, and I deserve it. But the one place I feel safe is with you and in this group. And I wanted to let you know personally that I had done this before you heard it from anyone else. I made a huge mistake. I totally respect if you do not want me in your group, but I just wanted you to hear it from me. First thing I did was pick up the phone and call her. Like, I just picked up my phone and called, and I was like, wow, you're having a shit day, aren't you? Like, and you screwed up. That was a big mistake. You shouldn't have done that. However, you will always be welcome in this group, provided you are growing and learning and taking responsibility. And is this an ideal situation? No, it's not. But are there things that we can learn from it and become better people? Yes, there are. And as a community, should we be going on witch hunts and treating people so poorly? No, we should not. And so I think the message in all of this is you're going to make mistakes. And when you do make them and you're faced with them, the very best thing to do is be self-aware and take radical responsibility for it. Make the changes that you need to make, create the amends that you need to create, try and make it right where and how you can.
Right.
And when you have done all of that, you leave with yourself intact and you move forward in the healthiest way possible, showing up for yourself and the rest of the world the best way that you can. Pick
Right.
and choose your education and pick and choose the groups that you are in very carefully. Very carefully. You want to look right? You want to look for places where you can grow, where you don't have to be perfect, where if there's a transgression, it's not going to, there's not the potential for your whole life and business to be destroyed. It's not appropriate. And while I do not condone you purchasing the product the way that you did, just as you do not, I also do not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I also do not condone you being completely blacklisted from the industry, pulled out of educational spots, and all opportunities to make a living being taken away from you from one mistake. Are we kidding? It's just sometimes our industry really chaps my butt. Like, it's just
and some of these, like, so many people in this industry appear perfect. And they do, and that's fine. But I promise you, behind the scenes, they're not. They've done things that probably aren't right either. And that's okay. You know, we have been there. Now, I made this mistake. If I did a year later, 2 years later, if I kept doing it, that's a problem. If I was blacklisted because of that, that's even more understandable because it's a repetitive thing that I've done.
Yeah.
But it was a one-time mistake. And I wish people in this industry, the leaders in this industry, aside from a few, the handful that are great, understanding, I wish there was a little bit more acceptance for us to grow. And that might actually have to do with why I stopped focusing on boudoir, like photography. It might have been why I kind of slowly backed out, became the hermit, created jewelry, and that's that. Because, you know, no one likes to feel like they're being talked about or people don't have the right idea of the person that they are. I am a very giving, understanding person. And I felt like my whole personality was like, they were thinking I was the wrong kind of person. So yeah, I think we just need to have grace. We all need grace. We all need and era they were, absolutely, all the time. They were being shared in the groups I'm in now. But now I think after WPPI this past year being a sponsor for the Boudoir Summit, I think that now I'm starting to hold on to the people that do give grace and that do allow mistakes and growth and that do know my story and are still very open to being involved with me and affiliated with me. And I think now I'm kind of in that place where I just want my name everywhere for these people to see it. I just want my name plastered everywhere. I want my jewelry everywhere. And I kind of want to show them, like, I thought my business and my life was over at that time. Like, I did let it affect me way worse than I probably would do today. But I'm just so moved on and removed from people getting away with this because it's happened to so many people.
It's happened to way too many people. So and I see both sides of the coin. I don't want my product.
Of course, that's why I completely understand.
But I also don't want people being treated badly. And I don't want there not to be room for mistakes and growth, because we can't grow without making the mistakes. We just can't. Right. And so I think the biggest moral of this story, and I am so grateful that you were willing to be open and open yourself up to being vulnerable about this and just being incredibly honest. I think the biggest takeaway I hope that everyone gets from this today is that radical responsibility for the mistakes we make, and not just because you want to save face, but because radical responsibility really is going to set you free personally. So I don't know, Megan, when you were going through all of the turmoil of like, oh my God, my life is over, my life is over, my life is over. There probably wasn't a lot of, and just hear me out, there probably wasn't a lot of radical responsibility around your actions being taken during that churning point. There was probably some it was not that big of a mistake. Like, how can you guys do this? Like, give me a chance, all of that kind of stuff. But it sounds like to me, once you were like, okay, wait a second, what I did was wrong. So at first it's going like this, it's churning, right? And as soon as you start going down and you're like, wait a second, what I did was not right. I need to make amends. I need to own this. What is my part in it? It stops being less like, oh my God, I'm going to lose everything. And it starts being more, I have control over myself and I have control over my actions, and I am going to do what is right, and I am going to persevere. So in taking that radical responsibility, you take the fear and the power away from everybody else. You put the responsibility on yourself. And when you're the person who's in control of whether you grow or not, it sets you free. Would you concur? Yeah. I'm like, that's kind of what I came to by listening to you speak, but I might be wrong. But that's kind of like,
so I went through, like, when I did it, when I split the guide, I knew it was a mistake immediately. I did. But I still didn't know what else to do. I needed help. I wasn't succeeding in my business. I thought I needed it. I thought it would be like my lifesaver. You know, a lot of these guides are made to seem like they're the end all be all. And I thought that's what it was. I thought it was this magic recipe, right? That I needed. And I didn't have the money to get it. I didn't know what to do. So I bought it knowing it was a mistake. After I eventually bought it, fully priced, after I wasn't even doing boudoir really anymore, I still bought it because I knew it was wrong and I wanted that accountability. And I think when I got dropped from the class and the groups, I was in such like a, oh my God, save myself type situation. Like, my life's over. Like, please forgive me, please forgive me, please forgive me. And then maybe it's been the past year where I have been in the kind of mood or mode really of owning it, being public about it. I don't want anyone to have this hanging over my head. Like, they can use it against me. I own it. I know it was a mistake. And I think that was the most powerful thing I did, was just admitting it, coming clean with everybody. So if they're talking about me, I don't care anymore, because it's a secret. I did it. It was wrong. I've done a lot of thinking the past year about it, and just kind of moving in directions and going into groups or working with educators that do accept me and do accept mistakes. And there are a lot of really great educators, aside from the educators who are very, are not forgiving. And I totally understand the whole, like, it's my money you're playing with kind of take, and I get it. That's why, like I said, I know it was wrong. I've done a lot of soul searching the past probably year or two about just being public with it, and it was a mistake, and I obviously wouldn't want something like that happening to me. Like, I know it's wrong, but I think we all do these things that aren't good. And once we realize it, and the guilt kind of eats us alive, I think that's when we can kind of make amends and kind of show face and just own what you did and own that you're growing and moving on with it.
Yeah. I think it's hard to do. It is hard to do in this culture, because it is very cancel culture, and there are a lot of witch hunts, and there's a lot of stuff like that. I just want everyone who's watching to know that our group is a safe group. This is not, again, something that I condone, because I'm an educator, obviously.
Of course.
However, I am not going to judge the entirety of a person on one good action or one questionable action, for that matter. So we are the sum of all of the things that we do, and all of the things we do are not always perfect. And so
no.
Megan and I are not giving you guys permission to go out and
I don't condone this. I don't think what I did was good.
No,
so we're not, it wasn't fair. It wasn't good of me.
So we're not giving permission to do that, but we are giving you permission to, like, make mistakes and give yourself grace and grow from them. Like, the big takeaway from today should be every single mistake, if it is dealt with grace, right, and you make amends and self-awareness and all of those things, has a silver lining, has an opportunity for growth in it. And in our community, you are absolutely in a safe place, Megan. You are in a safe place. You are not the only person in my group who has come to me and told me a story like this. I have heard it so many times. It's not even funny. And I'm an educator. People come to me and tell me it. I'm like, okay, I can't imagine it happening.
And I think that's why I felt comfortable, like, telling you and being like, yeah, I'll totally go live about this. I think it's an unspoken thing. It's very hush hush. Yeah. And it happens more than people realize.
Yeah. And that also goes back to, like, you said something where, you thought there was, like, the magic sauce in this. This was this thing that you had to have. And I think we also have this culture right now where we've been, it's so drilled into us that we are going to be 6-figure photographers in 6 months with this guide and this kit camera and 10 poses, and, like, we got it. And it's so toxic. It's so unhealthy, because
it really is.
For some people, that very well might be the process. It might.
Absolutely.
For a lot of us, that is not the process. And so we are setting up so many unrealistic expectations and making people incredibly desperate. People are like, okay, well, if I don't quit my full-time job, lease a studio, and have a full-time running business, I'm a failure as an artist. That's not true. It can take you 2 years to get there. It can take you 5 years. It can take you 7 years. It could take you might not ever get there. And that's okay too. It might just be your passion and your hobby.
I had been doing it for 12, 13 years. And I still was so desperate. And I think that's why I did it. I really, everyone was making it seem like this was it. Like, this is it. You need this. And I was like, oh my God, I need it. Like, what am I going to do? I don't have, my credit cards are maxed. I can't pay rent. Like, I need this. So, you know, I scrounged kind of what I had and I split it. And I think it really was coming from a place of desperation that like this was going to cure the hard time I was going through.
Okay, so that's interesting because the way that I sell my course is that this education is not do as I do. I am going to bring you all of the information, knowledge, tools, skills that you need, and then you make it your own. So I do not promise you are going to be anything other than what you make yourself. Like, you have to do the work. But I do sell this education as every single photographer needs to take this class. Because if they don't, they're missing a huge component of photography. And so it just occurred to me while we're having this conversation, I wonder if I'm also contributing to that environment of like, I'm desperate, like I have to do this. I mean, everybody really needs to do this.
I don't think so, because you're understanding and you're not shoving it down people's throats. Are you saying like, and honestly, I actually was looking into your class right before I stopped doing boudoir. And I know so many people, I've seen so many before and afters that are crazy. Like, they're insane, the before and afters that I've seen from students who took your class. And I don't get that vibe from you at all. The educators I do get it from are
I'm just trying to be like aware right now in this moment.
Yeah, no, I think that some groups, I think, add to this kind of people that are feeling so desperate, are, you know, telling people just throw it on a credit card, open a credit card, throw it on a credit card. Like, you can afford it, you'll make it back 10 times. They're almost making these promises. You don't do that. You need to take this course. You're not saying you need to take it now. You're not saying you need to take it to be successful. You're saying that it will change the way these photographers photograph, and it does. Like, we see the evidence of the students that you've had, and that how many times people are taking your class. Like, it really is such a big change, the before and afters I see from students of yours.
Yeah. Well, guys, I just want to say, every single one of you, if you haven't taken Strip Down, you need to take it. It's going to change your work and your life. Yeah. But I don't want to add to the pressure.
Right.
I want to say that, but I don't want to add to this pressure that we have as a community, that like, this is going to be the thing that like skyrockets you. I'm going to tell you, you are going to get as much as you put into this. That's exactly, you are going to measure your success of what you get from this by what you put into it. And I bring my all, but you need to do the same. And then we go from there. But yeah, I do think that you have to be really careful in choosing the groups that you participate in. You have to be very careful with the education that you choose. And you have to be careful with the way that you treat yourself and the way that you extend grace to other people. We need to be kinder. We need to be more loving. We need to be more understanding. And I think when we're a little bit more self-aware, which is part of this artist journey, it's easier to be more compassionate and empathetic with other people. And so I love your heart. I am so grateful that you came on and we had this conversation. This is a conversation that is probably going to get me in trouble with my peers in the education industry.
I might be in some more trouble, but I'm lucky that I'm such a hermit that I've kind of taken a step from all of this. But it shouldn't be anyone. It shouldn't get us in trouble, because it's something real that happens. And I think people just put on blinders about it. And it's something that is talked about.
Yep. We need to take our heads out of the sand, and we need to behave better. all the way around. And so I personally think it's a very positive topic to talk about. That's why I asked you to do this. I'm incredibly grateful that you did. I know that I have students in here who are in the messages right now who have done this themselves. I know I have students in class who've done this. There's so many of us who have done this. And it's because we do feel desperate and we don't know what else to do. And we're trying to make this business run and the this and the that. And there's like, I mean, there's so many reasons behind it. I get it. And I get it. But the blowback from it is just, I kind of try and live by this. Surround yourself with the 5 people, 10 people, whatever amount of people that you aspire to be like, that you want to emulate, that you want to, possess qualities that they have. And I would say the same about choosing your education. Don't just look at the offerings, look at the people that you are working with as well. And not just educators, but also groups that you participate in. Are they kind? Are they loving? Are they empathetic? Do they support each other? Do they have real, honest conversations? Or it is all just bragging? Are people lifting each other up? Like, we need to be in the places where we're lifting others up and people are lifting us up. We need to have beautiful communities that are full of grace and love and empathy and kindness if we want to grow. And that's what we're doing. We are growing. Like, you're here, so that is the point and the purpose. We are growing. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on and just being so beautiful and so open and so self-aware. And taking the radical responsibility that you did and sharing this, because a lot of people struggle with this as well. We know you're not the only one. So I think humanizing this and removing like the demonization from mistakes is incredibly, incredibly important, Megan. And I don't know if you understand what an impact I think that this will make for people. It's huge. So thank you so much for coming on and being vulnerable, having this conversation with us.
I hope so. Thank you for having me. I'm really glad. I was very nervous for this, but I'm glad. I'm so happy to have just like put it out there. We do it. It's not right, but exactly what Stephanie Gibney, I think I said that right. Which can behave better and learning. You're always learning. You're always growing, because you are. And I think that's incredibly important to take with you. If you do make a mistake, you do grow, be better, and then move on. Because I know lingering on it and thinking everyone was talking about was very hard for me, like severely affected my mental health. And I think just owning it and growing from it is what the most important thing you can, and humanizing it. Like it's just, I'm an open book. So if anyone, I'm going to make a post in the group in a little bit, but if anyone has anything to ask me, feel free to do that on that post. Feel free to message me. I really am open about it. I'm open about really everything now, because I just think there's more people that relate than don't.
Yeah. And I of course, thank you for being part of our community. Thank you for the beautiful work that you create for us as artists. Thank you for the amazing artist that you are. Thank you for opening up your heart and being so vulnerable with us. It's all appreciated. And I want to promise every single one of you that with me and within my group, you will always have a safe space. We are constantly on the lookout for any negativity. The funny thing is, Megan, we don't even have to remove it because it just doesn't even show up in our group. Like, you go into other groups.
I noticed that. And it's great. It's so refreshing.
This is called lead by example, right? So my promise to you guys is that you will always have a community that is open and safe for you to grow in. We're going to have parameters around stuff, obviously, but you will never be treated poorly and you will never be attacked. That will never, ever happen to any of you. So just know that you are in a safe place to grow. I'm grateful for every single one of you. And I'm glad that you guys are on this artist journey with me. Megan, do you want to talk to them about your discount code for tailored body jewelry? Because everyone was like, oh, it's so beautiful. I want it.
Yes, I'm actually bringing it up right now. So,
Okay.
So I have a discount code. It's 20% off. Photo artist 20, all in caps. Like I said, I'm going to make a post. It's not all in caps. I will post it in the group.
Okay.
It's photo with a capital P, artist with a capital A, and 20% off. Right now, I saw someone asked how long it takes. Right now, we're probably at 8 to 10 weeks, maybe longer. We're very backed up, which is a great problem to have. Thank you, Stephanie.
I think that's because Kaylee K ordered everything in your shop. one of our strip down students ordered like
Shout out to Kaylee. She's incredible.
Yeah.
I've talked to her quite a bit, and I actually really love her. So it definitely can take 8 to 10 weeks, maybe longer. But I always tell people in my group, if you need it before that, just message me, just email me. I can do a rush order. I can accommodate you. Or if an order is taking a while and you have a shoot you want to use it for, just email me. And I will do what I can to get it out for you. I'll upgrade shipping if I need to. Just let me know. I'm very, very open with the pieces and when you need them. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get my hands on some pieces for the studio from myself. I really want to shoot them in an editorial way. I want to take them out of the boudoir genre, and I want to shoot them in like a fashion forward editorial way. Like I'm excited.
And I would love to see that. I think that's one thing that's been so great about doing this is seeing all the different styles of photography that people have and succeed with. And I think that's been really awesome for me being a photographer, just to see it. And how people use my pieces is really interesting. Some people have like changed the way they can be worn. Like it's really been very fun and eye-opening to see everything.
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, let's find out who our winner is today of the Pro Prints. I always forget. I think it's 32 by 48. It's a monster of a canvas wrap. Hold on a second. Why can't I? Yeah, 32 by 48. I remembered it right. So our winner today is suspense as I'm trying to get into my phone, guys. Nikki Jade. So Nikki, let me know that you're here. And when Nikki knows this, lets us know that she's still here with us, then she wins. Come on, Nikki. Is that you, Nikki, that says Facebook user? It's hard to tell here in StreamYard.
Yeah.
Come on, Nikki, put in the comments like, yes, this is Nikki. Okay, Brad. Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate it. Congratulations, Nikki. Thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for working to grow and be self-aware and be vulnerable and go out there and be brave. I'm super proud of you for investing your time in yourself and in this journey. So you deserve this print. And remember, the rest of you, if you go sign up at the Photo Artist Journey, everybody gets a 20 by 30, which is, this is no small peanuts either. This is awesome. So y'all go and get it. Make sure you take a look at Megan's shop. She's got beautiful stuff. She's giving us an awesome discount code, which is amazing. Mwah! Thank you, my love. And I hope that everybody has a beautiful day. And I will see you guys mañana. So everyone go knock this day out the park. Go be self-aware. Take some responsibility for something. Be kind to yourself. Be a little bit vulnerable, and then go do something brave. Have fun with it. Yep. Okay. Lots of love, guys. See you guys soon. Ciao.
Bye.